It's March 2026, and for the first time in decades, ordinary people in the United States, Britain, France, Germany, and Canada now believe, by majorities, that World War III is more likely than not within the next 5 years. Polls show the number has jumped sharply since last year. Russia warns openly that continued regime change policies could trigger global war. Missiles are flying in multiple theaters. Is this just heightened anxiety? Or are we actually watching the early stages of something much larger? Today we break down the 5 most dangerous flashpoints being discussed right now, and what would have to happen for them to spiral into something far worse. Stay with us. This is going to be intense. Public perception and mood in 2026. Western polling from early 2026 shows 43 to 46% of respondents in key NATO countries now say a new world war is likely or very likely by 2031, up significantly from 2025. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists has the doomsday clock sitting at just 89 seconds to midnight, among the closest ever. Why the fear? Because unlike previous decades, multiple major power crises are burning simultaneously, and they are starting to interconnect. Middle East, US, Israel, Iran. Escalation top of the list right now, the Middle East. In late February/early March 2026, the United States and Israel carried out large-scale coordinated strikes on Iranian military and nuclear-linked sites, the most ambitious in decades. Reports indicate Iran's supreme leader was targeted and possibly killed in the opening wave. Iran retaliated with missile and drone barrages. Russia immediately warned, if Trump continues this insane course of regime change, World War III could undoubtedly begin. This isn't proxy warfare anymore. Direct US military action against Iran has pulled in American forces in a way we haven't seen since the early 2000s. If Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz, or if Hezbollah and other groups dramatically escalate, oil prices could spike catastrophically, dragging global economies and more nations into the spiral. Ukraine and Russia. NATO risks Ukraine remains active, but the dynamics are shifting. Russian forces continue slow grinding advances, gaining roughly 25 to 50 square miles per week in recent assessments. Yet Ukraine has managed localized counterattacks, regaining some ground for the first time in a long while. Critically, the Kremlin is planning as if the war continues at least until the 2026 Duma elections in September. On the NATO side, probes, drones, and sabotage incidents near Baltic borders are becoming more frequent. Any miscalculation, especially if Russia conducts a major strike on NATO logistics inside Poland or the Baltics, could invoke Article 5. And remember, Russia still holds the largest tactical nuclear arsenal in the world, Taiwan and China the long shadow. Then there's the Pacific, the theater many analysts still consider the highest-risk great power flashpoint. China continues aggressive air and naval patrols around Taiwan, though some reports indicate military activity has slightly dropped recently. Beijing keeps repeating, reunification is inevitable by force if necessary. Xi has reportedly instructed the PLA to be ready by 2027. Meanwhile, US defense commitments remain ironclad, but political debates in Washington about tariffs, alliances, and focus are creating uncertainty. A collision, a blockade, or a misjudged quarantine operation could pull in the US, Japan, Australia, and potentially others very quickly. War games still show horrifying costs on all sides, and that's before anyone considers nuclear escalation, the interconnection risk plus wildcards. What makes 2026 uniquely dangerous? Interconnection. Russia is reportedly sharing lessons from Ukraine with China. Iran has long cooperated with both Moscow and Beijing. If one theater explodes, others could be encouraged to move or forced to respond. Wildcards include North Korean provocations, a major cyber attack taking down critical infrastructure, or even a natural disaster like a severe solar storm disrupting global communications. Some fringe predictors are already warning about mid-March 2026. None of this means World War III is inevitable. Diplomacy, back channels, and sheer fear of mutual destruction still act as powerful brakes, but the margin for error has never been smaller. Conclusion and call to action. But are we on the brink? Not yet. But the tinder is drier than it has been in 80 years. The next few months, especially around key political deadlines in Russia, the US, and the Middle East, will tell us a lot. What do you think is the most dangerous flashpoint right now? Drop it in the comments below and tell us which region you want us to deep dive next. If you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We cover these developments daily so you stay ahead of the headlines. Stay safe out there. We'll see you in the next update.